Howdy everybody, how y'all doing? And welcome to the Ice House, where we try to keep things cool, calm, collected, mostly a bit chill. Well, now that we're rolling on into the new year, right? 2024 plus one. You know, because I'm a puppet and I can only count to 4. So we have workarounds, right? But that's not what I'm trying to get at today. Well, not exactly. But today I want to talk to you about, well, the illogical and the fallacies of simple, basic, if-then logic. Now you're probably asking me, what do you mean about the logical fallacies of logic, right? Well, let's get into it. First off, a lot of you know that logic and some of those, well, philosophical sort of ways to process the world, they have rules, and just like math, there's sort of a structure and a basis, but sometimes when you're dealing with word problems versus actual number values, sometimes things get a little bit off, right? So, like I said, there's an appeal of simple math. I mean, very much so, because, well, as we said, 4 plus 1 equals the current year, right? And 1 plus 1 is 2. And there's a simple sort of, you know, this with this must be this, right? And that's the same way with if-then logic, right? Because there's this whole idea that, well, if this is true, then that must be that, right? Or like, if this, then that. Well, and here's the kicker, right? In the formula, you know, if we've all taken a philosophy class or a logic class, we know that, you know, just because you put something in each line of the logic equation, right, doesn't make it real or true. It just makes it sound to the actual, well, logic system that you're creating, right? So if something, you know, this must be this, and this must be this, so if this is this, then that, right? Then so. Like, if Punkwaddle is a penguin, and a penguin is a bird, then Punkwaddle must be a lame, flightless bird, right? Okay, I'm not so lame. I'm looking at you. You know who you are. But I am flightless, right? And I won't contest that. But here's the thing. Like, we all know that the quantifiers of an if-then logic statement can be, well, just like statistics, made up, right? So here's when it starts getting into the nitty-gritty, because, well, something we've seen a lot in the last few years is all these big words thrown out and these buzzwords, and, you know, if there's a strong female lead, it must mean that, you know, the entertainment is something, or if there's a girl boss, it means that they have an agenda, which, you know, sometimes there might be something to that, but just saying one quantifier means all these other things, I think that's some faulty logic, and sometimes some faulty conclusions. You know, it's just like, let's say in November, they said, oh, now that Orange Beak Man won, right? All the woke is over and everything is changing, and all of a sudden we're gonna have a palate cleanse come January, and we will be reborn, renewed, sanctimoniously, and, you know, look, I get, and this is not being facetious, I think it's fair to say that second coming of Trump in the presidency, well, we're going to see some changes for sure. right? We're gonna see, well, Trump be Trump 2.0, right? I don't know if that means everything is gonna be that much better, right? Or if it just feels like we're gonna, well, we'll see what happens. And I don't know. Sure, some policies will change and some direction will change, and I don't like getting too political, but the truth is, just because one thing happened, it doesn't mean that everything is gonna change and everything is to the birds, like me, penguins, or, you know, everything is gonna be better all of a sudden. It's not magic, and I know we don't put our faith necessarily in the president or put all our eggs in one basket. See, that's another bird joke or reference, depending how you want to look at it. But it's just this goes back to the if-then thing, right? Because I know we're all burnt out, and it's really easy to get focused on the things that are going on in your world or your microcosm, right? And some of that's entertainment, that's video games, we want good things, and we want to figure out how to get good things, and we want to find the creatives out there who are, well, have a good idea and the ability to process it and flesh it out, and, well, with enough funding and enough, well, determination and understanding of the market and their target audience, they can start delivering to the people what they want, right? There's an if-then statement. If developers understand what people want and they have the time and resources to give the people what they want, then, forsooth, at some point, they might be able to give the people what they want and get monetarily reimbursed. Right? It's just a simple if-then statement. And I think the logic is sound in that one. But, once again, to basically have an if-then statement without even defining your quantifiers or having a true understanding of whether it's woke or, you know, something offensive, or if you just want to yell out and scream and holler because something's offensive and you don't actually know what it is and you got triggered by clickbait all over again, well, if you get triggered by clickbait and you go start blasting things all over the internet and saying something that you don't understand, well, then you'll probably look like an idiot, right? There, I said it. And once again, I think that logic is sound, but it just, I don't know, I just have this whole concept that, you know, New Year's is an interesting time to, well, like I've said before, to reflect on how we were last year and try to do better, but, you know, these sort of resets or new beginning moments where we try to be unburdened by what came before, or hope that this thing will just completely erase everything that came before and make it all better, is just, I don't know, there's no linchpin, there's no just, you know, the one thing that just, I don't know, like, I like the fantasy worlds where, you know, all you have to do is, well, they always had to work hard, but you find the way to reset the world, or you have this thing that fixes the kingdom and brings peace, and everybody's happy, right? And everybody's happily ever after. But we know that's not exactly how it works in real life, right? And so, it just, I find it interesting how we put so much hope into things and ideas and concepts when we don't put as much faith into ourselves or the people around us or the people that we know have been consistent, even on the lower level grassroots campaign version of things, right? There's just something about putting something on a pedestal and elevate it above and if we could just fix video games or fix Hollywood and entertainment, or, it'll all be better. Well, maybe it'll help, and I'm really hoping that we can get something a little bit more balanced for everybody. Like, I do think that it's going to be interesting this year with the state of video games and the distrust that a lot of people have in the video game industry, and, well, all the blockbusters that are coming out that aren't really making as much money because people have lost faith. I think this year is going to be a lot to be seen of, are we going to stop just, blaming and pointing the finger, or trying to use AI to fix everything instead of putting our own blood, sweat, and tears into things, go back to practical effects, like me, and actually see what we can accomplish and have to show for it, right? Not just point our fingers at everybody else, or flippers at everybody else of playing the armchair quarterback and trying to run the show, right? I think it's going to be an interesting year, right? Because I think there's going to be a lot of things accomplished, and hopefully we're all motivated to, do something. I know by the end of this year, I hope I have a lot more to show, and I hope that I've grown a bit and done some things, and not just sat on my little waddle behind, and, right, just thought I knew everything and didn't do anything either, right? So, I'm preaching to the choir too here. I'm just saying, if we put a little effort into it, we might get somewhere. Yep. You know what? I don't think I really have to quantify how that works, because that, I think, is pretty sound logic. So, if any of this made sense to you, or you're kind of excited for the new year, or maybe you're tired of flying off the handle just because one little thing, one little quantifier exists, and, well, we just have to react to everything now and say it's all gone to the crapper, right? Let me know. Let me know down in the comments. You can like and subscribe, and let's try to think this one out, right? As fun as simple math is, let's try to be a little bit more intentional and thoughtful about the conclusions that we draw in the coming year. So, till next time, see you later. Bye!